We spoke to students on both sides of the issue to hear what they think.
I think that affirmative action is a really terrible thing. I think that it runs, against the ideals of equality that the nation was founded on. And what affirmative action says is that people are advantaged or disadvantaged in the admissions process based on the color of their skin. I think that's, antiquated thinking, and we shouldn't, as a nation, advantage or disadvantage people solely based on the color of their skin.
The university says that, it wants to be able to at least consider race as one of many factors in the admissions process because it argues that a diverse student population benefits everyone. What do you say to that argument?
Well, frankly, I think that's problematic thinking in and of itself, because what they're saying there is that if they don't take race into account, that you won't have black and brown people on campus. And I don't think that's the case. So I think that you have to have faith in black and brown people that they will still be on campus because they have the ability to produce the same outcomes as do white and Asian individuals.
So by a show of hands, how many of you believe that race should be a consideration when it comes to college admissions? All of you. Why do you think considering race is important?
Race is not something that we can take off. Race is something that has impacted us on every step towards getting to college. This is a place that wasn't built for us and that people are actively trying to stop us from getting to.
The questions of our merit in achieving where we are now is a little confusing to me because white students' merit is never considered in that conversation, despite their 300-year head start that they've had. And so race-conscious admissions is not only fundamental, it's essential to every aspect of our college life.
I cannot take out the color of my skin. I cannot just ignore that part of myself. So why does universities, workplaces, why do they have to ignore what makes me, me?
Justice Clarence Thomas, one of the Supreme Court justices who will be hearing this case, has criticized Yale Law School, Yale where he got his own legal degree from, for similar practices. And basically, Justice Thomas said, essentially it hurts the value of my degree for people to know that I could have been perceived as receiving a leg up to be here. Does it worry you at all that if a university considers race, then people will think, I only got here because of help?
I know that I worked extra hard than those who are privileged. I didn't need an SAT tutor. I didn't need an ACT tutor. I worked on myself. I'm a first-generation Latino bisexual college student, and I got here because of my drive, and I got here because of my motivation. My mom didn't even get to go to first grade because she had to work in the fields in El Salvador. So I'm here because I've done it myself. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't want anyone to belittle my admission here.
I'm really struck hearing what you said about kind of having to remind yourself or maybe even tell other people that you belong here, because I felt that going into college in 2005. I had parents say things to me like, she just got into Harvard because she's black. And I felt like education was the only way I could prove to them. And to hear that you still feel that way. I mean, am I hearing that correctly? Is that still how you feel?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Who says these things to you? Is it students? Is it parents? Is it?
I think it's a combination of the both. I can remember one of my first weeks at Carolina. I was in the bookstore getting my textbooks for class, and I had a family who was going on a tour in the bookstore with me at the same time. They asked me if I was on the sports team, asked me which sport I played.
Wow.
So just this underlying assumption that you can't be black on campus unless you're an athlete or otherwise provide some labor to the university is problematic and consistent.
Or people making comments ever since I got my acceptance letter, that I was only here because of race, disregarding everything I've done in my life, everything I've proven myself to be, and the only thing that you look at is my race. But now we're saying that race shouldn't be looked at in admissions, when it's everything, and it's the only thing many times that people look at when they see me.
And Jose, just to give you a sense of the data, the numbers there, Black and Latino students make up 19% of UNC student body and 33% of students overall in this country, Jose.